If you've ever tried intermittent fasting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that first big wave of hunger, the one that hits you in the evening or the next morning. It feels like an emergency, right? Like a signal you absolutely cannot ignore. But what if I told you that signal isn't what you think it is? What if understanding the science behind that feeling could completely change how you fast? Well, let's get into it. And this right here, this is such a common struggle. I mean, you see people with the willpower to fast for days, and they still get tripped up by that first really intense pang of hunger. It just makes it feel like you're fighting a battle you're just destined to lose.
So what's really going on? Well, the answer comes down to one single, really powerful hormone that runs on a schedule you might not even know exists. And, getting a handle on its rhythm, that's the key. It's what makes fasting feel not just possible, but, believe it or not, surprisingly easy.
Okay, so we need to talk about ghrelin. It gets called the hunger hormone all the time, but honestly, that name is kind of misleading. It makes it sound like hunger is just a simple switch, either on or off, when the reality is so much more interesting. So yeah, there's the official definition. Ghrelin is a hormone, mostly from your stomach, and its job is to tell your brain, hey, time to eat. It's while your stomach starts to rumble. But it's not the what that's so important here. It's the how. The way this hormone behaves is what really changes the game. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this reframes everything we think we know. We tend to think of hunger like a gas tank that's just getting emptier and emptier, right? And that little warning light just gets brighter and brighter until we finally refuel. But the science, it shows it's not a straight line at all. It's a wave. That's it. When you feel that sudden, overwhelming urge to eat, you are not actually starving. You're just riding the peak of a ghrelin wave. And here's the best part. Just like any wave at the beach, it's gonna crash and pull back, even if you do absolutely nothing. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. I mean, think about it. If hunger was purely about how empty your stomach is, ghrelin should be screaming at you first thing in the morning after you fasted all night. But it's not. It's actually at its lowest point of the entire day. That tells us something else is pulling the strings. So here's the deal. Ghrelin runs on a clock. Your clock. It literally learns your eating schedule. If you always eat lunch at noon, you can bet it's going to spike right around noon to get your body ready for food. It's a habit, a trained response. And the best part? The research shows that wave starts to go back down after it peaks, whether you eat or not. Okay, so this leads us to probably the most fascinating discovery about ghrelin. What happens if you just keep going? You push past that first day, ride out those first few hunger waves that are just based on habit. Let's see what the science has to say. I mean, your first thought is probably that after 24 hours or 48 or even 72 hours without food, that your hunger hormone would just be completely off the charts. Your body would be in a full-blown panic, right?
Nope. And this is the absolute game changer. Over a multi-day fast, the overall levels of ghrelin don't ramp up. They actually go down. For a lot of people, day 3 of a fast is actually way easier from a hunger standpoint than day 1 was. See, your body isn't screaming louder for food. It's smart, it's adapting. It realizes, okay, food isn't coming on the old schedule, so it just stops sending that signal quite so forcefully. It starts switching its energy source over to stored body fat, and that process creates ketones, which actually help you feel full. You're not starving, you're just switching fuel tanks. Okay, so just knowing all this is incredibly powerful, right? It turns hunger from this big, scary emergency into just a temporary, predictable signal. So the question is, how do we actually use this knowledge? Let's get practical and look at some real-world strategies. First up, hydrate smartly. Something like sparkling water can actually stretch your stomach a bit, which helps. Or black coffee and green tea can act as natural appetite suppressants. Second, use what I like to call the distraction gap. When a hunger wave hits, just set a 20-minute timer and get busy with something else. Go for a walk, answer emails, whatever. By the time that timer goes off, the wave is likely passed. Third, when you do eat, eat for satiety. Pack your eating window with protein, healthy fats and fiber to keep you feeling full longer. And finally, a huge one, get good sleep. Just one bad night can send your hunger hormones haywire and make fasting feel 1,000,000 times harder. Now, before we wrap up, it's really important to know that ghrelin is so much more than just a dinner bell. It's a super complex hormone, and it has a whole range of other jobs all throughout your body and your brain.
I mean, just look at this list. It's wild. This one hormone plays a role in the reward centers of your brain, your ability to learn things, your sleep patterns, even how you handle stress. It just goes to show you how deeply connected our eating patterns are with our overall mental and physical health. It's never just about an empty stomach. It's about this incredibly complex system. So here's the main takeaway. When we understand what hunger really is, we can completely change our relationship with it. It's not some master that we have to obey. It's just a signal, one we can observe and then decide how to navigate. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. If hunger is just a temporary wave, what other signals from our bodies, things like fatigue or boredom or cravings, what if we're treating those like emergencies when they might just be waves passing by too?